All right, y'all, let's get into part 2 and some updates on that trailer that's kind of being released. That's what we're living through now because the film edit and release is in the so-called 89, which is the year we are in now. And then 90 is when part 3 is released. However, part 2 and part 3 are intermingled into these times right now. And as well, you have the overlapping of those so-called family ties, and that's kind of where that so-called tailoring swiftly, those fast times. So that's where all these things interweave, and these people, your names and numbers are one source of family, and then the people that you're born with is another source of family. And the light, the numbers and where you're born and all these things in one way connect to one aspect, and God is light. We are the lampstands, and then it transfers in another way. And since that begotten Son is a light, that transfers in another way. And then we have us, okay? So, the projection of our world is changing. You are in that second stage of that change. And basically, the world stage has been setting and searing an image that has been given life. And with that, the people have either gone down or they have gone up. It is a dual purpose machine. It is of can and cannot, of is to come and is not. So this is where everything's been put into a box before, and the devices you hold in your hand, the devices you call a TV, the newspapers, that printing press, that photography, all these things, okay? These are all part of a Pandora's box that are slowly opening. The internet and the phones, they have basically put the box into your hand where you can open it up in all aspects. So basically, since the Pandora's box has been opened, the people who hate all these things based on what they've been seared as right and wrong are going to drop down the Pandora's box. Okay? Because the beast, the 666, they are seared and branded on that outside. And when things go out, they have to pick their sides. Okay, so the wings of the dragon are there to gather the people. And the dragon has a is to come and is not. And the dragon is that year you're in right now, that catch-22. And it's also the dragon where Donald rests. And he has, and it's also where the dragon where your Lady Liberty rests. And where Kamala rests. And these things, and this woman, this Lady Liberty, is pulling back the reins on this dragon. Okay? As far as carnally speaking and spiritual, going down into the projection, America, raised up above, like from space, so-called, from the global map, is the shape of a dragon. And Florida is its front paw, and Alaska is its wings, and those types of things. And America is called the land of the plumed serpent, Amaruka, America. And then Eric is tied to another filming of part 1 that we're going to be seeing for that Eric Stoltz. So we're going to see the Eric Stoltz part 1, while we're going to see the reverse of part 1 with Michael J. Fox overlap with part 2, with part 3 coming in 2025 in the so-called May time frame, unless they do the shortening of days and it comes a little faster. But that's just kind of a foundation, and then we can track it into these other trilogies and epic, whatever they're called, with a six or more, 6 and 9 episodes or whatever. Either way, the trailers are basically showing right now. We see the people left in space. We see the Labor Day and those contractions. And we see the dawn and the moon, Kamala, meeting up on 9/10, and then they speak on the same day, but they're not together. So this is kind of like that passing or whatever. And this is the same day that Donald, we wake up and he's calling her a spy, and those types of things. So all these things are kind of setting the stage for that second and third stage, but these are going to be bam, bam, bam for that fall TV. Okay, and that fall TV, that T, that Trump, and that V22, that Catch-22 is right now, and that 20, well, actually the 22 is over because the 23 is now, and we've already caught our mice and such, and cats, and there's a cat running loose, and we missed that catastrophic event in that France scene. However, we did get that little localized blackout there. And then we saw the little Black Caucus playing around with Kamala and such. And with the 9:15 landing of the Polaris Dawn. And that's another light coming in, because as Dawn went behind the moon, Kamala, now he's coming out as a dark force on one side. And then Elon Musk is going to be a light on the other side. Okay, but Elon Musk is going to be a physical dark sun to the world, and then a spiritual sun, light sun, white sun or whatever, to the new, where we're going. Okay, so these guys are playing dual roles, just like Obama and Bill and all these people. They'll be connected to Combs or Epstein or whoever, and they'll intermingle these dudes into so-called Israel spies, Iranian spies, Russian spies, American spies, whatever kind of spies. Okay, and this will be the spy versus spies. One has this kind of bomb, the other one has this kind of dynamite. You're both effed, you're both screwed. The dragon has you gathered to both sides of the wings. Every person is marked with a mark in the right hand and all those other things. So this is where, like, if Trump comes to play in one area or this area or whatever, or however it all works out, the people might actually have to move. Whatever we're told before might end up happening on the other side. And this is where we're shown where the woman, or this other dark moon we're getting for so-called 2 months, this is probably where Trump can come in and get rid of Vance. And we got that broke down Vance or whatever, and the advance on the table. But these is kind of where it's taken away, and then he brings in this other secret sauce and those types of things. And then they love this woman over here, and then they love this... they might have the Green Party land over here for that Greenland on that kind of play. But we can see these types of forces interwinding. The buy and sell, the Biden can be going to jail. And that sell, this is where people are like, put them in jail, those kinds of things. They're for that buy and sell. This is where it's going from a spiritual to the carnal, where they're like, it's like right there in front of your face, and it's like you can't get it. All right, and that's where you're like in the land of idiocracy, and then you see Hulk Hogan there at the Republican convention, and you see the Lou Ferrigno's son that they don't tell you he's his son, but it looks just like him. Either way, but he gives them the I'm forgetting the dude's name. He gives them the belt. The WWF style belt. Anyways, that's the land of idiocracy going on right before you in a little flip-flop version. So the second stage, we can see this actor taken out, this actor taken out, this blah, 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 right? Kamala can be taken out, Trump taken out, whoever taken out, especially those who got the X on the arm. Okay, and then this is brain fart. Either way, this would be when the X-Files, all these things come to life. And then the combs and those things, this would be opening up the Pandora's box, and the Epstein and stuff, this would be opening up the box where all these stars have done this, that, and the other for this, that, and the other. Okay, they're all guilty. They were willing to do that for that. Okay, it's just high-level prostitution. He's a pimp, basically. So, and all those people are his pimpettes or puppets, whatever. The prostitute, and the prostitute ties you into that Constitution and that Kevin Stitt and all those things for Oklahoma and that Bible beaters and all that stuff where they're starting that gathering of the nation and such, for those panhandles, those pan friars. The pager, bombs, cell phones, pagers, walkie-talkies, whatever they're calling them, right? They're kind of going back in time, and they're starting at one time and going back to another time and things. We're seeing kind of some time travel things going on social media, on the news and whatever, because we're hitting these little markers of rewind, fast forward and such, okay? But either way, these happen on 9/17. All right, Wiki says 9/17 and 9/18, and we see today they got the second round. Either way, the 9/17, that connects us to that 9 plus 1 is that 10, and then the 7, the 10/7. That connects us to Israel being attacked. All right, so this is where they're attacking Hezbollah, and they do it in a terroristic fashion through the phones and stuff, where people are like techno, and then they start leaving their phones at home, and then they start getting left behind in another way, because then they can't keep up with the news, this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 okay? So there's many things setting up. There's 7 lights. There's 7 lights on the candlestick. The last candlestick, the Laodicea, burns the brightest at the moment, and it projects all the other 6 lights, okay? And other ages is where that one burns brightest, and like Smyrna or whatever, and then everything revolves around that. That's where you see the Smyrna, the smear RNA and stuff. That's the ribonucleic acid, and that's part of the hospital church or whatever. That's where we can see that pharmakia, where people are gathering up this, that, and the other to heal in the first so-called 6 days, which would be in a span of time of 6,000 years or 1,000 years per day and whatever, right? But it's a overlaying of things. But either way, and we can see where Revelation 20, 21, 22 lines with the new heaven and earth lines up to Genesis 1. And Genesis 1 through chapters 1 through 6 speaks of 4 different creations and the blendings of those and stuff. So that's where we're living through today, and that's where you see this, that, and the other type of man. And there's the man, the lion, the eagle, the ox, the 3 beast man, and then the man, and the man continues, the others go away. And the eagle's going to burn, and the phoenix rises up out of it. And the phoenix is to connect to the dragon and the so-called 666 and all this other shit you're all scared of. So, 10-4 day coming up can be in that 9:20 to 9:30, that 9:23 overlay kind of thing. And then we can see it skip a beat to the 10-4 in October, and all those things will be overlapping, and then 178 days from that 4/8 eclipse would take us to that Ring of Fire eclipse on 10-2, which is the day Trump had his trial, and then 10-4 the alarm went off or whatever, And then 10-7, the bombs in 2023. Anyways, he's 78 now, and he's going to be 79, and that's where you get the 178, the win for Trump now, and then he's going to go into that 79. Okay, got to end it here time.